already kind of low cooldown. You might be able to skip
even
Soul.
Gush. Even Gush. Honestly. Gush is a really strong lane spell. And on that note, by the way, what I'm presuming, because I have like seen this as a joke in the high immortal games. I don't know how serious it is, but like the idea of using the Ags to like farm as crazy as possible. I've seen like offlane tides deviate into more of a win condition because of the Ags. I think that might be what Gork is going to be going for, but I'm still interested in where the strength comes after that.
Yeah,
because obviously the tide Ags has been abused a lot in the games we've watched.
Yeah, even just of course in the offlane position, right? We've yet to see him carry as Rajix is breaking smoke here. Lodine trying to catch him with the Nightmare, has brown boots of speed, so we'll catch him easily. In comes Gork. He's going to take that first point now in the Anchor Smash. Connects it on the 2. The LSA's onto 3 and 4. People then hit by Ixen's Illuminate. Now CHILLAX in full retreat, and actually Lil Pleb the target. Vacuum level 1. Oh no. Oh no. Vacuum level 1. We'll talk about that later. MTD, is this going to be enough to kill him? Doesn't quite look like it. Oh no. They didn't even get first blood. And Pleb XD, I mean, because he knows a Darkseer just took Vacuum level 1.
And against a TA of all heroes. Like there's few matchups where the Iron Shell is as useful as against the TA. So that sucks. That is a ruin of the lane. I mean, I think you can still kind of make it through if you just force that level 2 on Darkseer as soon as possible. You're gonna play some really clever experience games. Really well done by Lodine, by the way, still in that bounty rune. There's a chance he could die if they had Iron Shell, but unfortunately with that Iron Shell, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, lots of casual harassment here as well. Pablo does have Boulder Smash, so he can at least secure the first couple of first couple of range creeps with -5 armor. Rajic's no longer too keen on fighting into this. Is this starting out Embracer on the Earth Spirit? Okay, Master Tier Earth Spirit for Pablo. Yeah, I just...
Well, you don't like this? You're an Earth Spirit spammer yourself, so that's why.
I think it's fine, actually, versus the Bane and versus the TA. It's a little bit of bonus armor. It's going to allow you to tank a little bit more versus Lodine, who is going to be incredibly annoying and actually went for brown boots. So I think Pablo's going to be actually quite happy with his decision. It was either this or just like a crap ton of regen and a Ring of Protection, and I think I like Bracer overall a bit better.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. Especially, I think, once again, the Vacuum level 1 debacle means that you need the better stats to be able to tank here and actually keep Lodine busy, because you getting level 2 on Darkseer is primordial right now. Like, it's the biggest thing.
It's necessary. There, I'll switch over to CS. I don't know why I was on net worth so early. But yeah, it is dire that he gets this Iron Shell online.
Meanwhile, the bottom lane, let's look at this matchup a little bit. Tide is a lane dominator, so I expect him to win most matchup, but Sanking is a relatively difficult one. Also, Gork just missed like 3 lasts on their tower, unfortunately, so it's going to really delay any sort of like progression in this lane. You could go for like a double Bracer build and just use your early stats to solely dominate, but Sanking is a difficult hero to beat if you don't get your early levels really, really well. So Gork needs to make sure that he continues to scale nicely. I really like what EIXN is doing here as well, leaving him the solo experience, making sure he gets levels, and making sure he can match a Sanking's farm with that.
Yep. A little bit surprised he didn't decide to opt into a Quelling Blade, to be honest, but decides he doesn't need it. I'll just get it with the Anchor Smash alone.
Good point, actually. That might have been part of the reason why it's a bit harder to last in the tower, right?
Yeah.
But in general, the fact that now you have to like be really precise with the melee creeps and you depend a little bit of the min-maxing of the tower also is a bit of a nuisance, so... Especially on the earlier levels, it kind of sucks. Yep. And I do like that he goes for the bracers for just brawling more. I think that's the best way to deal with the Sanking overall.
And here's Iron Shell now finally at level 2. We can see Pablo and Lodine both taking quite a bit of a beating, and actually Rajix is going to opt to cut the wave immediately, right? This is something that's going to be extremely strong against this duo lane. I actually thought when I was casting a C game with Winter, hold on, Lodine just might be dead here? No. They didn't want to commit the rolling boulder. Pablo would have been out of mana. Just continuing to try and force a little pleb to CS under tower. Winter and I were casting a game in which a Darkseer did successfully take Vacuum level 1 for first blood, and what the enemy team immediately did was try lane against the Darkseer and make him be level 1 for the first 4 minutes of the game. It was extremely depressing. I think CHILLAX perhaps could have really forced the issue with the Rubik as well. You do just so much damage between Bane and Rubik, right? Like, there's no way Darkseer or Spirit can do anything in that lane. It would have sacked your Sanking a little bit early, perhaps, but considering that it's only a Tidehunter safe lane with a Coddle, I think maybe you get away with it. But either way, Darkseer on the road to recovery.
I like that idea, by the way, as they go for a little pleb here. He has Refraction, but that's not going to do anything. It's Iron Shell. It's the first blood going the way of Rajix, so he still gets the first blood despite that Vacuum level 1 we talked about. So in the end, kind of successful here for Rajix. I will mention on your point that I remember there was a while ago, if you guys remember, a team called Viking GG, which is currently somewhat iterated in Gaming Gladiators. A lot of changes, though. That team used to do this a lot. The Trilin to like force against heroes that went for the wrong skill set. They were like the team I remember doing it the most. They would do this a lot against Timbersaws. Like, they saw Whirling Death level 1, and they would just run at him and not let him ever get his point and passives, right? They would do it against Darkseers for similar reasons. I would like it if more teams were capable of experimenting with that, but it also breaks the flow of the game a little bit for you if you're not experienced in doing that strategy.
It's true. Yeah, and that can backfire just as easily, right? I think there are a couple matchups where you can really look to kind of punish that, and I think Darkseer is perhaps the most egregious example of, oh no, they took the wrong spell at level 1. But again, it's not really been punished here, as Team Bald have recovered this lane very nicely, and in fact even have a lot of kill threat here. This duo here between Darkseer and Earthspirit is one of the very few for Earthspirit that exist in the game where he can actually just sit top, and there's a lot of kill potential here. Just with his laning partner, as Lodine is figuring that one out with the Ion Shell level 2 applied. Pleb is going to lose as well his refraction. Pablo's actually going to take the scenic route through the tier 1 tower, and that'll get him killed.
This is your best friend Pablo, you know. Sometimes he's just surfing, he's vibing, and he will die. But if they get a kill against Low Pleb, it's worth it. Refraction does nothing against the Ion Shell, though. Low Pleb is going to be run down, and the punches get the final hit. Low Pleb will die. That's our Jeeks. He survives that nightmare, but that brain sap is a bit too hard for him to deal with. He still has the Tango regen, plus 2 Iron Branches. Earthspirit's coming as well. Pablo is back alive, and he's going to save for Jinx. In fact, they see an opportunity. They go for Lodine. They slow him down. Boulder Smash.
He's got another brain sap.
Lodine, he does have the brain sap, but they will dive this.
No.
Pablo was considering it, but instead decides to heal Regix. Good teammate.
Yeah, good teammate. And that's Lodine immediately TPing back into lane and using all of his regen already, all of his spells. Doesn't have any mana now. Look who's here. It's Ixin. They're going to be looking to try and get basically a dieback onto Lil Pleb, as now he's going to have to make the Walk of Shame TP on cooldown for a minute, rather. And Lodine is going to join him here. It looks like Radix is going to be able to dive. No, they don't want to go for it. Instead, he's going to send in his big boulder friend, and Pablo will secure the kill. I talked about 3 heroes top lane here. I thought it was going to be for CHILLAX, but Team Bald are going to be the first to rotate heavily.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I like the unorthodox pick, of the Tidehunter, because sometimes, I mean, we're concentrating a lot of what does Tidehunter do well, and to be honest, if we just look at the Darkseer, it's not so much the Tide, it's the fact that you could flex this hero, allowing you to get this really easy matchup up top, which is now giving you an immense amount of space. And as long as Tide is a capable carry, like just a fine carry, that's going to be really worth it if you can snowball off the Darkseer. Of course, that means that a lot more of the game is on him, but I think they're fine with that. His performance against Alliance was really good as well. Excalibur in the mid lane could be in trouble. They do have a Nightmare still, by the way. Laguna blading Lodine out of spite, trying to get the kill. He will get it. And Excalibur, for now, still alive. MTD will manage to stop that as he gets the last hit for the kill.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious how Gork is going to look, because now he's got pretty decent space, and with levels, this Tidehunter hero can actually farm pretty effectively. But he's gone for Double Bracer. Hold on, he's just purchased something.
Phase Boots.
Phase Boots. Okay, so it's kind of still an offlaner build for now, right? I mean, Double Bracer's a little bit greedy, I would say, but like nothing too indicative that this is a carry Tide. So I'm really curious how Team Bald are going to look to kind of, you know, distribute the items and distribute roles here. Lilina is going for bots first, which I really do like, because I think you need some sort of late game strategy against this TA. I don't think you can rely on Ion Shell too late.
Yeah, that's true. I think that the build is just Gush, honestly, and just farming out of control. I think that's what, or like Gush, Ags, sorry. Ags with maxing Gush now next, and just farming out of control. I think that's what he's going to plan to do.
Are you seeing this?
I can't imagine any early item that's really got great on Tide, like even like an Echo or something. I don't really see it.
It just kind of seems like straight Ags, right? And maybe the Shard, so you can actually siege a little bit. But you seen the spray top lane, by the way?
Oh, that's true.
Team Bald.
Yeah, is Gork molding, no? Or is that 4 hit?
I think
5 hit?
I think that's like a 9-head move. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, 9 head.
MTD?
Okay, that makes sense. Oh. Okay, that Nightmare didn't really... They stopped the Nightmare, but actually Regix dies anyway. Pablo tries to test the structural integrity of those walls and realizes he is going to die. That was a really weird attempt to roll out of the arena.
Yeah, I think he actually hit Lodine there. I'm not sure, because I believe Earthspirit...
Oh, that's why.
Unless this was updated in the spring cleaning patch, because again, you're not supposed to be able to go over the walls anymore with some abilities, except for Cookie, I suppose. But I can say I do distinctly remember Earthspirits rolling through the walls of arenas. Lodine might have caught another one here.
they got the Sankey Burrow, and that's going to be 2 kills here.
Got the ward.
You're right, by the way. Earthstrip used to be able to do that, but I presume that with the spring cleaning that got taken away, because I don't know what Rolling Boulder allows you to get through walls exactly. Right? I don't know. It was really inconsistent.
Well, I mean,
that
come on, everyone knows rock, paper, wall.
Yes, exactly. They're going to take the next time out now. Pablo tossed the Ion Shell on, but no more Rolling Boulder. And now they see an opportunity to go for a Jinx, but Excalibur's joining in. There's the Vacuum Wall replica. What are they going to go for? Only not an easy target to hit. Pablo will miss that Rolling Boulder and retreat instead, as the rotation is here for MTD. A lot of wasted time here for both teams, but both carries are farming, so overall, not really a win for anyone.
Well, that's true. One of these carries is a Tide Hunter, though, right? And
which is why he's scarier. Yes, I agree.
Well, I think he's a bit scarier because you can't fight into him, but he also just doesn't have the damage. Pablo is in some trouble here. They're setting up the spear, finding the one tree that remains, and that is where they will slay the boulder. Incarnate.
Right, so I guess you could argue that maybe if you're playing carry Tide, you have to play him closer to like the Kunkka carry, where you rotate a bit more often early to utilize the Ravage, because otherwise what's the point of the Ravage?
Yeah, I think actually, I think you're onto something there. Because he has taken that skill point, right? And he's actually maxing Kraken Shell and not Gush. I don't think this is a mistake by any means, especially because there's no heroes that are going to try and push his tower while he's in this lane. Like, fair enough. But then I guess I would agree with you. I question the point of the Ravage in this case.
Yeah, I mean, maybe... I think that this idea is more similar to how like a Luna might use Eclipse, right? Where you're a threat, or a Jug might use Omni Slash, right? Whereas as long as those abilities are available, it's hard to really go and gank him unless you have 5 heroes,
Agreed.
Right? Because they're too big of a threat. But this is like to the extreme, right? Ravage is obviously much stronger than what the Omni Slash or Eclipse can be at level 6.
Yes.
So because of that, I think that maybe Reborn should be considering not making as much space for Gork, because he doesn't really need it. His space is just him existing. He's going to be too hard to kill anyway. And they can go for more free ganks, they can go for the more safe farm, and maybe Gork can keep the safe lane pressure, which is a good thing for a carry in general to do. A lot of Razors, Kunkkas play this way, you know, the lane dominators. He is overall executing this strategy, but Reborn, they can't go too far in with the rest of their
I think that Gork has called for a smoke play or some sort of as Ludine. He's going to at least interrupt the Rolling Boulder. Solar Bind. There's no more stuns, actually, because they've used the Vacuum already. And, of course, Coddle not famous for his stuns. He's going to be allowed to TP away after he breaks the smoke gank. They will scout the stacks, and now Gork is at least going to be able to force the objective down bottom. Actually doesn't even need too much support here. He'll get it himself.
Right, so then this way you can actually play even more aggressively with this build, as opposed to just use this to create your own space and farm, take over the enemy triangle, right? You're a pretty good triangle farmer as Tide because of the Anchor Smash, and again, you're really hard to kill. But he's saving 2,400 gold, and I don't know what this is for, because if he wanted to Blink, for example, and go for the full offlane Fighting Tide, he would have bought it already. I still want to presume it's Ags.
Okay, it's Ring of Health. It's Ags. What is it going to be, Gork? It's Ags.
It's Ags.
Or maybe an early BKB, right? But of course, that's why you always buy the Ogre Axe first, in case the game starts going horribly wrong for you and your team. So good.
He bought something else, right?
Nope, just the Ogre. Oh, I think he did.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He got the Ring of Health. Okay. Must have, right?
Yeah, it was Hood. He bought full Hood.
Full Hood. Fair enough.
Which is fine. Yeah, if you want to fight
lane,
as well.
Arena.
Okay. Yeah, extend.
Yeah, I think you had a good point there with, you know, Tide staying in his lane and being able to at least think about applying pressure to Lil Pleb's Ancient stacks, right? One of the better still Ancient farmers in the game on this Templar Assassin, as we can see now Lil Pleb starting to do this. Even lines being drawn on the map, as I believe Ixon knows that something's going on here. But, yeah, I just think it was the right move for Balt to actually gank that lane. Normally, teams will kind of do opposite, where the TP will come top lane from the carry, and then usually everyone just does the lane swap. But hold on, Owned Me. He's going to try and reveal the Blink Dagger here. He's found a juicy target here onto the Darkseer, and wow, a stolen Boulder Smash being put to good use there by maybe next time.
Nice.
As MTD will follow up for the kill onto Pablo, ensuring the 2 kills there for Owned Me's Blink Dagger reveal. Very nicely done.
Also a good use of the Iron Shell afterwards, right? Really good steals there by the MNT. Gork now going to the safer part of the map. He took the Ancient stack now that was prepared for him, and he's going to just start farming the top side. I think once take bottom tower, there's really not much point to you staying there. It's much better for Kyle to just take over this dead lane farm, and Gork can now put pressure on this tier 1 top and maybe even push it himself, which I think is a good idea. Honestly, I don't know if it's a practice strat, like with a team or whatever, but it's looking pretty good. Like, they understand the strength of this hero pretty well. I'm actually a pretty big fan.
Okay.
Own me.
Do they have
They
detection?
have Boulder Smash, but nice. Good telekinesis. And Own me actually gets the counter kill on Pablo there because of maybe next time.
There's an arena.
On point there. As the arena hits the Darkseer as well, here comes the Bane to help out. Has a Fiend Script available. Can't use it on the Tide instead. They're gonna concentrate on killing Rajix, and now they see the opportunity to go for EIXN, and that's gonna be the third kill as engagement. Ooh, that scored. It's had to fight
Excalibur's
for his team.
here.
Activates the Ravage. He's manning up with the help of Excalibur. Can they get a single kill here? They lack the stuns though. Gork is just a big tanky creep, but he can't really kill anything just yet. So they're cutting him around. He does get low Deem with a little Gush snipe there. However, nobody else from CHILLAX will die.
Okay, not the best execution there, unfortunately, from Team Bald, as they're kind of just going to get picked off one by one, but very well done by CHILLAX to kind of really apply the pressure there. They forced the TP top lane out from the Coddle, so Lil Pleb is able to at least get this bottom tower. It's a lot more space for the Templar Assassin. And to kind of get back to your point, I think this is kind of an innovative strategy, but I think that right now what Team Bald are running into issues with, it's this dual core lineup, well, not dual core, it's this dual utility core lineup, I think is more apt, of Mars Sand King, that is not really allowing them, or it's really slowing down their objective taking, right? Which they don't push that quickly anyway. And this is making so much recovery space for Lil Pleb, actually. He's still well on this recovery train, still 1,000 gold behind Gork, so it's not going too excellently for him. But his Sand King and his Mars have no lack of net worth.
Yeah, you're very right. I actually think that the score of Sand King and Mars is probably one of the most perfect cores you'd want with the TA, right? Because the TA, you really want to secure that you hit that specific timing of like Desolator, Dragonlance at the right time. Maybe even BKB on top of that, right? And Sand King Mars is like the two walls that you'd love for this. It's kind of impossible to stop them from making space here.
Arena whiffs mid.
Little missed arena by MTD, but again, not that big a deal because you're still not able to play
Bottom,
aggressively.
Ixen and Rajix.
Unless Lil Pleb decides to play too aggressively, and he's gonna fight Rajix head on. Last Array does miss, but the Laguna Blade won't, and Lil Pleb will die here. That was a really aggressive position for him to be in.
It was.
Honestly, especially with that tier 1 bottom.
And Gork takes the tower top lane. CHILLAX, perhaps they're going to be a little bit upset when they watch the replay. They want to get an objective here. There's going to be a Ravage back in 25 seconds. Gork is just willing to fight into this one. There is a Fiend's Grip at the ready. Epicenter is good to go, but no Arena of Blood for 50 more seconds. So just continuing to lock down Gork, but he's not taking any damage. And with the Fortify through, neither is that tier 1 tower. So a successful defense there by Bald. I'm surprised CHILLAX... I mean, I guess they can't really stop Gork from pushing top. I mean, he's just kind of too tanky right now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's just playing as an offlane Tide, essentially. It's just offlane Tide from the same
this is a
so
good
he has
smoke,
more
though.
experience in
Ludine.
farm.
Oh, what a pause. This is a little spooky here right now for Excalibur. Of course, he doesn't know it's coming. And all of his damage is reduced by 50%. Does this Intimidated debuff work on your spell damage as well? Or is it just... right-click damage?
What?
The Intimidated debuff from one of the Alpha Wolf camps.
Oh. Yeah, it's just right-click damage.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, you made me doubt it. I'm pretty sure it's just right-click damage. Yeah, it must be. I'm checking if there's any wolves, but I can't. Copy with a very specific interaction with a new creep, so I'm not well versed.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I just know Harpy, if I'm honest.
Exactly.
With you.
We all know the Harpy Scout. We all know, I guess, the Death Throws are pretty funny, right? The Warpine Raiders for how tanky they are. Thank goodness that they never use their actives. Otherwise, they would become the real heroes of Dota 2. Okay,
that's true. Though if you enchant those creeps with like Cheddar enchanters, you really feel how they're active.
Excalibur, stopping here to farm. Oname, he's going to look for the jump on in, but he's going to cancel this Lina a little bit too fast here. Maxed Fiery Soul, 7 stacks, has her moving at 460 move speed.
This is the next level play by Excalibur, right? Like, usually when you pause and unpause, you take like 5 seconds for your Bane to reconnect. He pretends like he's reconnecting.
Soul and Ravage?
And with a Soul and Ravage, they get the EIXN. Yeah, fair enough.
It was going to be coming up cooldown there in a couple of seconds.
He got Spirit Form, which I don't know what that does for the Rubik.
Gives him more move speed and even more cast range.
No, you know what? Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's fair enough.
Even more.
I always think of only the Illuminate part, but I guess that's true. The cast range is pretty useful.
Yeah. Plus,
Illuminate heal.
I don't think you'll lose this buff if you steal a different spell. I might be wrong on that. Dota's a little bit weird sometimes with how that works.
You don't lose it, no. You don't lose it.
Okay.
I think there's like a few buffs with Rebecca you do lose, but most transformations you don't. I know that Lone Druid, for example, you do lose once you steal something else.
Yeah, you lose the bear, you lose spirit form, I believe.
No, you do not lose true form. That
okay.
stays.
Well, you do lose the bear, and you could buy things on the bear.
You can actually. You can play Lone Druid as Ruben. Yeah, indeed.
And then you can just decide to, eventually, when you lose the spell, become very sad, as there's going to be a jump onto Lodine.
Lodine.
That's Axe
Been gushed.
for Gork.
Yep.
And that's going to set up for the kill here. Not even the pig pole can save Lodine. That's how you know you were really dead.
I do wonder what you do now, honestly. I think that the team bald is too strong right now. I don't think TA is ready to fight this. Like the Gush is genuinely a brutal team fighting spell right now. And he's managed to max it as well. He went for the Gush damage talent as well, so he's hit his peak in terms of at least the early game Tide utility. I'm presuming later on there's still going to be a second peak when probably level 25 or so, when you hit the crits and you get all this overwhelming damage. But for now, this is the strongest Tide we'll ever get, and I don't think TA can match this.
Yep.
I think Lil Plum needs to wait for the BKB.
Tide washing machine build got kind of changed. You no longer have the plus 250 or plus 220, whatever it used to be, plus 200 damage talent at 25. It used to be 250 and then the 20% RTA, instead, he's got this 50% chance of Anchor Smash on attack, which is not bad, interesting, but I think Team Bald would much rather finish this game before Gork is forced to pick a level 25 talent. And they're doing a really good job, actually. Excalibur, he's paired this Aegis timing now with a BKB, heading into the Eye of Scotty next, which is going to be pretty brutal for a Templar Assassin. Of course, that move and attack speed slow still going through, even if the auto-attack damage itself is blocked.
And I will say, though, on the point of like Tide reaching level 25, the 50% chance of Anchor Smash on attack, if you have farm, is pretty strong, right? Actually, Anchor Smash used to work, and people used to play Tide carry in Dota 1 for that reason. And I think it's pretty strong. I don't think they're actually really falling off in the late game, especially because Lina can just take over the win condition role. And I think Excalibur is more than happy to do that. Lina's really good match against TA in the mid-late game, especially because TA has just struggles bursting her, and Lina has more range than you. And of course, Sanking does fall off. Mars maybe not so much, but Sanking 100% falls off. So I actually think Team Bald Reborn might even be better at the late game. There's just this kind of pocket, this window opportunity for CHILLAX between like 25 and 40 minutes or so, where their TA should get online and they should be unbeatable, at least theoretically from their strategy, but they do have to execute the team fights well, taking advantage of Mars and Sanking.
Yeah, I think Lil Pleb's gonna, well, first of all, he definitely needs to BKB. If they found Lodine, they actually kick him underneath the tower, and Gork TP's in for the kill, although it goes to the tower. I think they need a really good spear, a really good telekinesis, or Pleb needs BK or Blink BKB. Oh, they cancel his TP. He TP's right underneath the ward, and Pablo, he might just die for this, but it'll be completely worth it as the bonk actually out from MTD will pick him off. MTD unfortunately can do nothing further to try and save his hard to carry Templar Assassin and CHILLAX. They're going to end up losing the carry, and this is crucial. She needs to get this BKB online. This is a pretty scary window, as you've well highlighted here. This could be almost the complete map that CHILLAX are going to be forced to cede if they can't get this BKB up.
Honestly, and even with that, I'm not even I haven't confirmed. I'm not really sure that it's going to be an outdraft or a beating by CHILLAX. Like maybe when they come online, the enemy team is just a bit too strong. So I don't think they really take any bad fights right now. The map pressure that you execute as well with like Lina Boots of Travel and then Tidehunter with Ags on top of that is kind of brutal. And Gork going for the Blink Dagger, now deviating into full offlane build, essentially on Tide, allowing him to have much more team fight, peaking at this 25-minute mark. This is going to be really tough for CHILLAX to deal with. They need some sort of exit strategy.
They push actually very well just because they can tank the waves. Lina's gone into the right-clicker build right after the BOTs. Now with the dual ultimate orbs.
Look, they even have a pipe on Regix. This is how much they want to force this like next 4 minutes. A pipe, my guy. I haven't seen this item built in years. I mean, it's a great item for this game, but it just shows right now the push is going to be unstoppable. How do you even kill this guy with a pipe in the team? Well, Excalibur might just put himself out of position.
Reveal.
There is the Ravage used. And they're going to go for Mars first, but he tanks a fair amount. Pablo's now stuck in the arena. No, he gets her out with a rolling boulder. Spring cleaning, boys. Pablo will die to Pleb's attacks actually falling through, and Gork in the middle of this, he's actually killable and relatively easily by Lil Pleb, who just brings him down with auto attacks. Excalibur now stuck in a difficult position. The Perfect, though, won't hit him. Instead, they concentrate on the Darkseer. Nightmare actually saves him from the Meld Strike, and the Fiend's Grip will set up for a kill on Regix. No pipe, no mech will save you from this unless TA doesn't go high ground. Just go, so your attack stop missing, Lil Pleb. Rajik's still alive by some sort of miracle. There's Lightstrike Ray finishing him off, and Excalibur also gets broken with this dominating CHILLAX team. They don't have a spear just yet, but I don't think they need it because the Lightstrike Array from MNT is ready, and that's going to guarantee a almost team wipe. I think only Coddle survives there?
I believe, yeah, I believe so. He's the only survivor. I mean, it's still a wipe through Aegis, nonetheless, right? 5 heroes still dying. And yeah, this one just ends up going really poorly. I really actually admired the jump from Gork. I thought it was a fantastic Ravage, but CHILLAX, they knew what was coming and were very well prepared to deal with it, in fact.
I mean, I think the execution of that team was not entirely there. Like, Excalibur's positioning, putting himself so far forward. I don't even know if the Ravage was like, oh, guys, we can fight, or, hey, Excalibur saw in a position, if I don't Ravage, he dies, right? It was either or, to be honest, because the Ravage didn't end up being that great, again, because Excalibur was so far forward. I didn't feel like the Darkseer was ready there for the team fight, honestly, once it happened. There was kind of a bunch of spells stepped off between each other rather than combining them together. I think you get to lose one fight and it's okay, but you're now reaching TA territory after losing a fight. Probably the worst thing you would want in this situation.
Yeah, very true. I mean, and I'm surprised that Bald actually forced it a little bit because you're really close to the Scotty timing for Lina, and I don't know. It seems like Bald, they really wanted to win these fights first because Gork did not opt to go for the Anchor Smash shard like I thought he would. He decided to buy the Blink Dagger first, right? Which is fine and fair enough, but that's clearly meaning we want to fight more, right? We don't really want to necessarily push these towers as quickly as we can.
Well, it could also be that Lina is becoming the win condition, right? And Excalibur is starting to become the real carry, and Gork is deviating into that 2 role of Initiator, right? And he has to cover for Excalibur. But if that's the case, you have to be much more careful with your lead. Like, she has to be really far back and make sure she can't get caught easily.
So you're going to get caught. Like, he's dead.
Yeah.
On me.
Gork, though, wants to fight this. They do see on me. Yeah. He's under a sentry right now. They have Ravage as well.
Sentry's expiring in 10 seconds, though, but it doesn't look like they're going to fight here anyway. Current spell stolen, by the way, is going to be MNT's Light Strike Array, so keep an eye out for dual Light Strike Arrays flying around in the fights.
Okay, they missed the spear, but they do hit the Power Strike. Gork's here to protect him. Once again, Ravage is available. Only has a BKB, though. That's the surprise. They can't Ravage him any longer. Unfortunately, Onmi, yep, he's fighting against the pipe, and he's also less tanking. He's kind of reached his power spike at this point. Onmi is going to fall. With the Nightmare just giving him a couple more seconds of life. Not the best initiation here for CHILLAX, who's quick to retreat. War quick to retreat. Low Plum especially does not want to get caught. Lodine might have to be the sacrificial lamb here. We do have a Gush to slow him down. MTD covering him. Nice spear, actually. But the wall of replicas committed just to make sure this Bane dies. The whole team is here, and maybe the Savior Buddy Syndrome might have condemned them. As it loops MMT. Rajik, though, does fall to Low Pleb, who BKB TPs immediately. MTD will do the exact same thing. And those long BKBs will be used just to get home safely.
Yeah, 8-second charges there for the Mars, and 9-second charges for the Sand King and the Templar Assassin. Sand King, of course, who immediately loses his life and does approximately 0 damage with his ultimates and the Sandstorm because of not only Pipe, but also the Hood Barrier on top of Gork. So that's going to be a slight overextension there by CHILLAX, which might prove to be quite deadly here, as Gork does conserve the Aegis, and once again, they're looking to push this Tier 2 tower. No Aegis needed here for the kill onto Lodine, but it does force back Lil Pleb, who now has got a Blink Dagger.
This is the more dominating performance I expected from Team Bald, but once again, it's like neither team is ever fighting in full conditions. There's always one team is like just fighting in a really awkward way. Like that fight with the Sand King was kind of awkward. The BKB was exciting and it was nice, but because Epicenter is no longer that much damage, and also as you pointed out, the pipe ends up being a little bit lackluster. And once again, the rest of CHILLAX is not in position to really take that fight, right? So I just kind of wanted to have a 5-on-5 engagement when they're both ready.
I almost rolled into MTD, and actually MTD is going to go ahead and reveal himself, trap damage onto Pablo. I don't think this is going to be enough, though. MTD is going to just BKB, and does he have a TP even? He doesn't, not for 7 more seconds. Gork is here, has Ravage, of course, if he needs it, and actually decides to throw it down. Ixon is going to be sniped by Lil Pleb. Not sure what he was doing to the mid lane, but it's going to be a kill onto the mid laner of CHILLAX.
Okay. Not bad.
Coddle was setting up wards for Roche. Acceptable.
That kill MTD now slows down CHILLAX's probably next fight, and so you can't use that power spike on the BKB better, and the stronger Lina becomes the harder this game becomes in general for CHILLAX, because once again, she will eventually just be able to beat out the TA. as long as Caliber keeps his distance. I think the Silver Edge is kind of key here because you'll be able to deal with the Mars really quickly. And they've struggled with what do they do with the Mars, because obviously Lina being a ranged hero, Bulwark just covers her projectiles pretty nicely. She doesn't really have enough burst damage to bring him down, but with Silver Edge it's going to change. So it's a really big pickup here for Team Bald Reborn. Maybe you just wait it out, honestly. I don't think you need to really force a fight here, especially with Ravage on cooldown.
Well, CHILLAX might just look to force it here as little pleb is in the Roche pit, ready for the double melted onto the big man himself. And oh, maybe the triple? Yeah, they've stolen Chakra Magic. Can we get up to quads? Can we get 4? 4 melds! -7 armor for Roshan. He is falling very quickly.
Yeah. What a steal by maybe next time to take this Roche. What a peculiar way of taking the Roche. Is Team Bald Reborn aware of this? I don't think so.
I mean, even if they are, I really don't think they can fight into this. They've got Vac Wall. They're going to smoke up on their own high ground, but Lil Pleb's already claimed the bounty from this second Roche. And even Gork here is going to be a bit isolated from the rest of his team. Team Bald, though, coming from behind now, trying to at least make this a little bit of a better fight for their carry, for their streamer. Gork not inside the arena, able to escape. Owned me as well. It's kind of being bursted around. Seems like Ikeson's going to be the first target to drop here. Forstaff's not going to save him as Lil Pleb is going to pick up the kill there. Excalibur has at least sniped Lodine, but it's still Gork who's just dispelling everything, being thrown this way, that way, gets a 3-man gush, but can do no further, as he will eventually fall. Team Bald only pick off 2 supports for the life of their carry.
Okay. Small win for CHILLAX. The team fight didn't go exactly the way that they planned, but they're holding on to there. And with this Aegis, hopefully they can take the final tier 2, or, well, the only relevant one, which is the mid lane one. Top you can ignore. And maybe even go high ground. They just got a shard for free off this.
TA traps silence. Absolutely.
Yeah. Big deal, particularly for the Tide as well, right? Because they don't deal enough damage, and so until he dispels it, it takes a while. And delaying that Ravage by a single second is honestly very useful. Yeah. Because you can't get the Blink Ravage into the stopping the BKBs, right? On top of the scouting the traps already do.
Yeah, I feel like this is also a super annoying ability for someone like an Spirit, who is a very combo-based ability, right?
Good point.
Like it's really sucks when you're playing against these some seemingly random silences. You know, like if it's an Orchid silence or an Ancient Seal, fair enough, you outplayed me. Here goes Pablo. He just breaks the smoke, speaking of.
Yep, and the Blinding Light is going to help him with the Vacuum now on top of that, but the Vacuum actually kind of killed Pablo there, but whenever he was dead anyway.
Yeah.
The Silver Edge now on MTD, which is very interesting. Really useful against Gork though, so kind of like this item.
Okay, DD running the bottle for the Mars as well, which is going to now expire, so it's going to get popped.
No pleb. He's off the BKB, but he's being controlled for now. And no pleb will fall. That's his first life. What's the rest of CHILLAX going to do?
What's Laguna use,
He needs some sort of cover for his second life. Once again, he has the BKB. We use it. TP. No, in the middle of the fight, pleb wants to leave as the rest of his team initiates. And this lack of coordination, they're all forced to TP as well. The Light Strike Array won't hit anyone because of the BKBs. CHILLAX is capable of making a swift escape. Honestly, not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad by CHILLAX. I mean, okay, the initial play by Lil Pleb was bad, right? But then afterward, the correction, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty decent recovery, especially as Bald, they whiff on their spells to stun him immediately after. And really, that was just a mission to remove Aegis, yes, but also snipe each other's position 5s. That's what they've been at each other. They've been at each other's throats basically all game long. But yeah, pretty good recovery, and I like how CHILLAX all make the call to just immediately leave. Of course, Bane doesn't have BKB TP, so he's going to be left behind. But again, other than losing the Aegis, not too bad of a fight. Again, though, Bald, they do conserve this big Ravage here for Gork, and they will smoke up immediately. CHILLAX still hunkering down behind their Tier 2 tower. Going to try and fight into this, but they don't have BKBs right now at the ready. Against this Ravage, it could prove to be a bit punishing. We'll see how far Bald want to push this issue, though. They've tried diving this Tier 2 tower once before, and well, it didn't really go well for them. Second time around.
We'll catch the Sand King. Get rid of that initiation, but Omi doesn't have a BKB. Save with a shard. That's perfect, though. Kind of wasted as MTD breaks Gork.
Pablo finds
That's
Pleb.
all he can really do in this fight. Low Pleb is going to go for the supports first. Activates the BKB. Trying to kill off Pablo, and the spear will help him do so. So CHILLAX at least gets 1 kill out of this, but they did use the BKB, so maybe not the best time to fight. Gonna try to blow up the IXN. There's no Blinding Light this time. The IXN will fall as well as the Nightmare catches Gork.
There's the Fiend's Grip.
But without the Silver Edge, I don't know if that Fiend's Grip's gonna work. There's the Silver Edge already prepped. Broken him, and that's gonna be enough to burst him down. Those stuns much more effective, and CHILLAX gets a really important kill there towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, once again, what do they say? Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it, and Bald did not pass their history course there, as they basically make the exact same play mid lane, except this time CHILLAX have BKBs, and Lil Pleb has got way more damage and mobility. Kind of just easily takes that fight, to be honest. The Ravage only catching the Sand King, who BKBs right after. I actually thought BKBs would be on cooldown a touch longer, but Team Bald weren't really able to muster themselves and then go at the CHILLAX lineup as quickly as perhaps they thought. Because BKBs made that Ravage feel completely unimpactful, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, again, the timings of the BKBs for CHILLAX I think have been pretty on point. They just that their initiations have not been so great, right? Like, they've constantly gone in a bit too far, and you're like, that's a great BKB, but also, why are you there, right? Whereas this time, when they finally got dived, it worked out nicely. As you pointed out, maybe Balderborn should have considered not going down the mid lane again.
Yeah,
that tier 2 tower has just been their biggest enemy this game.
It seems like they know that they're on some sort of timer, at least at the moments they are. Ixen's going to die again. Nothing, no big deal there. But
I really don't think that. I really don't think they're on that much of a timer. Especially because, like, if you're on a timer and you make those plays, that doesn't make... There's no helping, right? Like, when you're on a timer, you got to play really precisely rather than trying to just push all the time. But beyond that, I really do think they actually have a pretty solid late game if they just utilize their heroes as is. I think they will scale eventually. Gork has become a full-on offlaner right now, though, so yeah, it really is on Excalibur to carry this game.
I mean, I would somewhat argue he has always been an offlaner, right? Going for double bracer, phase boots, like, it's the greedy offlane build, sure, admittedly, but I suppose if there is one benefit to Darkseer is that he does usually farm quite aggressively and quite safely, right? He just iron shells the wave, and if he can stick around for XP, he'll do that. But sometimes that's not even all he'll do. It kind of feels like all on the Lina. Is Lina ready to fight? Is Lina not ready to fight? Is Pleb at his strongest? Like, Pleb, who, by the way, has 7 refraction instances now, +7, that is. And Lina with the attack range talents taken. MTD breaks the smoke. There's no detection. Dust is going to find MTD, but it looks like they get Pablo first. And better Owen with a 2-man burrow strike here. They're going to once again nuke through Ixen, who has at least a Ghost Scepter. He's going to live a tad longer before Owen is going to proc that burrow strike shard. Gork now is going to be the one in trouble. Stunned up here a second time, broken and killed off. Silver Edge of MTD going to town and going to work as Team Bald. They're falling like flies, and none of them have got buyback here, Avo.
Not an item I usually would think I would be calling out, but the Silver Edge on Mars is actually winning the game here. MTD on point with that pickup, because Gork is no longer that useful. I do have to question, though, what's happening with these, like, engagements. Like, why are they running down mid with 3 heroes? One of them, like, Darkseer kind of lagging behind, Excalibur nowhere near. What is the game plan? Do you team fight there? Do you, like, force a counter initiation and Lina goes in? As also, the Darkseer gets cut out. Beautiful spear. He still Ghost Scepter though, so they can't quite kill him. There's the break. And with the God's Rebuke, as soon as that Ghost Scepter ends, they can be able to finish him off.
3.6 second spear of Mars stun. That is very painful. And,
oh wow, yeah, he took the talent.
Yeah, speaking of pain, this is going to be at least likely 2 lanes of barracks. CHILLAX, it seems like they're respecting the possibility of this Gork buyback. They're not really sure about Tide in general, but actually Team Bald are going to fight into this, but Tide doesn't have buyback, and neither does the Earth Spirit yet again. But they've at least forced them back from the high ground with the buyback of Radix. Okay.
Okay. They kill Pablo on the way out, though, so not ideal. And now it's probably Roche timing. They know there's a chance it spawns within like 20 seconds or so. We'll see if Gaben likes CHILLAX or if they like Team Bald. I bet Gaben watches a lot of streams in his free time. He seems to be a man with a lot of free time, right?
Yeah. MNT. Oh, has he got Ags? Rubik Ags did get changed, y'all. Now there's just constantly a 4-second cooldown, I think, on Spell Steal. It's slightly reduced because he does have this Quickening Charm, right? But Ag Scepter allows you to steal 2 spells now, which is very fun. Still increases your cast range, and of course gives you the Ag Scepter upgrade if the spell has one.
Which is hype here for the Laguna Blade.
Yeah.
Now that's 900 pure damage, amped even further to 1,100 pure damage.
Honestly, Gush is a super high value steal right now as well. Oh, they're just going to kill Lina. Stolen Laguna.
And Excalibur, the big source of damage. Okay, the Excalibur gets away from the arena, but Gork has been trapped in it.
There's Stolen
and
Gush.
There's the Gush steal we talked about. Trying to finish off our Jigs first, at least get the easy kill. He's going to be finished off easily with the IXN, the next target. He does have the Ghost Scepter. At least he'll be able to TP, but Cork's been caught with the Nightmare. That's setting up the trap for the Silver Edge. 7 more seconds. Gush at least wakes him up, but the damage is too high. Gork can no longer tank it.
It's just been such a painful game for Bald here for the past 10, 12 minutes, basically since second Roche. And now CHILLAX are just completely freed into the base. Top lane has shoved in so far. That's why Bald were kind of caught there. And in fact, down goes Ixon. He's got buyback at the very least. Going to have to use it. Excalibur, and in fact, no one here on Team Bald with buyback. Pablo will have it in 30 more seconds. But I don't even think they're going to have any barracks left in 30 seconds here, Avo.
Yeah, I don't think so. What does later on the TA is going to fall quickly. Do we have an AC? We do not. Still fine, though.
Yeah, still ample damage.
You don't have Ravage when he comes back as well. Like, you lost your big source of initiation. That's going to be Mega Creeps.
That is Megas, very easily. CHILLAX, they can, well, take a little bit of
a
chill pill. Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Do they have a trap in the pit? No, they don't, but that's okay. They probably know it'll be up by now. And they've got amazing vision as well here to cover their retreats or to cover their steps. That's the new gem active. I know it's the exact same as the Seer Stone for those Dota Tier 5 neutral item fanatics, but that's the gem.
All one of us. Woo! Big fan of Apex.
Meteor Hammer!
It's you, me, and Team Liquid when they played that major game against Navi.
God.
It's those five.
The 101 minutes TI-10 qualifiers game.
No, I meant the major one, the Leipzig major, when they beat Navi off of Apex drop in 60 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's so wild that Tier 5's been in the game for that long. Lodine's on the hunt. He wants Ixon. This is going to be a dieback penalty, I believe, apply here to the Coddle.
Good job. Killing Coddle here is super important because you want to go high guard anyway, and he's probably the best defense they have against Megas. Obviously, the Tide side. I don't know who it was. I was listening to an offlaner recently, like a Tier 1 offlaner that was talking about how the reason they don't love Tide is because Tide fails to scale as compared to other offlaners. And I think we're starting to see that. Are
you sure that the scale doesn't fail on him? It's pretty big.
Yeah, it also does that, but he's already fat.
So dude weighs as much as a whale.
He could eat a whale, actually. Yeah. I don't think he's there yet, actually. 23, I don't think he says that yet.
No.
Every time. Is there an echo here? Why does the gush come back to me? He's been Nightmare. They need a Silver Edge once again. Fiend's Grip. Okay, they didn't come out too well.
Oh,
now they broke it in. Vacuum Wall Replica plus the Ravage. The initiation is good. MTD's dead. Pablo, though, will die as a result. Excalibur hitting them hard. He's been stunned, and no plebs delivered strong with Excalibur. He heals back up with Satanic, and now the CHILLAX is all down. They only need to deal with no pleb. 2 lives don't really matter.
But they have the outpost. MNT's here.
No support. MNT
Lodine is back.
With the help of the Bane as well. Where's the BKB? Not available. It's tough. Cheese on low pleb. Excalibur getting really close to low pleb. Up close and personal. Cheese has been eaten. Refraction, and Excalibur gets bursted down.
Pablo's dead.
Pleb manages to win the 1v1. That is wild.
Refraction instances. I don't know why I called it Avalanche. That was a beautiful vacuum. Finally, the Dark Seer play that we've been waiting for. And
good Ravage as well.
Oh, yeah. That's the team fight that I was expecting from Bald when they went Tier 2 mid. That was probably the team fight they were expecting as well when they went Tier 2 mid twice. Yeah. Oh, a thing of beauty.
I'm glad we got to see at least one of those, right? I'm glad we got to see one of those.
Yeah, and I think Team Bald are going to be super glad they got one of those as well. Because even if they lose this game, which, again, they're up against Megas, it's still a 27k net worth lead. Yes, a very valiant hold, but it doesn't even close to equalize the game, right? I think they can at least be happy when they head into the next game, win or lose, that they finally got that combo off. You know, I think that does wonders for the mental game.
I agree. You want to be... I mean, I think this probably was one of the teams with the strongest mental game, right? I can only imagine. I don't think losing a game must matter to them as much as people who are trying to... Like, this is their livelihood, right? But having a secondary livelihood gives you a lot more chances to experiment. It makes for fun games, which I think is an advantage for Bald in general. At least for the few players I know that do stream for a living. But for like losing a game like this one, especially when the strategy hasn't worked, might make you mistrust your drafter for next game. So it's important that he at least showcases that yes, this team fight is good. Like a 5v5 is strong, and we wouldn't have lost if we just played this a little bit better. Because I think that's kind of the case. I don't think the draft is honestly to blame for this game. I honestly do think it's the playstyle for Bald.
Has Gork bought something? No, he's just got a lot more money in the bank. Okay. Still...
Oh, he went for the Ravage stun, so he's full on.
Oh, okay. That's just another nuke onto Ixon. Does not have buyback. True Sight on the deck, another great vacuum, but the BKBs this time are prevented from being too effective as the counter initiation immediately from low pleb with the BKB and a stolen wall. That's 2 dead inside the arena of blood, and now the Fiend's grip interrupted at least is going to allow Excalibur to live, but he does not have the BKB. Trying to get through the arena wall, saved by the Ravage of Gork now. Long stun onto many as they actually kick the TA into the Fountain with the Force Staff back out thanks to the Hurricane Pike. Pablo able to continue kiting them around thanks to the Glimmer Cape is going to at least save the day. Great buyback from Gork, but the Tier 4 tower is still crumbling, Avo.
Yeah, the Lina still a difficult hero to kill, especially with that much range. TA can't get close to her, and this time Excalibur won't do the job for him, so Lil Pleb seems to fall here. He does get the kill on Pablo with a Hurricane, but not going to be enough. One last gush clears him off. MTD though still alive, they can't quite finish him, and the auto attacks against Gork, they're gonna kill him with a brain sap. Once again it's Excalibur clearing any heroes that come close to the fountain, but he himself is also in danger. MTD fighting him to the death, they hit him with a life strike array. Maybe next time still has the gush, he actually steals the chunk magic for once like God's rebuke, and maybe next time we'll guarantee the kill on Excalibur. What a player maybe next time. Towards the end of that game, he just kind of showed up on the roof and he showed why they pick him that